Wendell, certainly appreciate you taking the time today for us, and we will open up for questions. If you would, just make sure you identify yourself, just so that Wendell has an idea of your name and affiliation when you ask a question. And we'll start with Mark Armstrong, ABC 11.
Sorry, my mouse went disappearing on me there. Wendell, Mark Armstrong with ABC 11. As Mike said, can you just take us through how this opportunity presented itself to you, or if it's something you sought out?
Hey, Mark, can you start again?
Yes. Wendell, tell me how you found out about this opportunity, or whether it's something that you sought out, or if it was, offered to you.
Really, coaches approached me with the opportunity. Really, coaches approached me with the opportunity. He figured that this would be something that I would be good at, and something really just for me to improve my leadership skills, and really just use my voice to be heard throughout the country.
Is this kind of building off of, the march you organized down in Concord and stuff like that? Have you felt yourself kind of blossoming as a leader in that regard?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the march was definitely a start to something special that I wanted to do. And just having this opportunity really just allows me to continue using that platform. And with the group that we have in that committee, just us doing everything we can to make things easier and better for all athletes in the NCAA.
Go to JB next.
Hey, what's up, Wendell? Yep, can you hear me? Mic check. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Wendell, man, thanks for taking out the time. Hope you and your family are well. I have a two-part question as well. First part is what leadership skills do you think that you've been able to attain, during your college years at Duke that will help you with this new position that you have been appointed?
I probably feel like for me, just for me, just a chance to use my voice more. Coach always wants to be more vocal on the court, and having an opportunity like this just allows me to do that. I mean, this year I'm considered in the upperclassmen, but I'm still a sophomore, considering we have 7 new guys on our team. So I really just all that together helps me become a better leader in a whole.
Okay, and the second part of my question is pandemic related. I'm sure you are hearing all the stories that are coming out this morning and over the past couple of days of college campuses having to go on lockdown after coming up with a lot of positive cases. Well, what does that do to the mentality of you and your teammates, when you guys are trying to get ready for another season and just everything is on angst right now?
I mean, really, it just shows us that this pandemic is real. I mean, I can't speak for the other campuses and what they do, but the precaution that we take here are obviously second to none. We have very little interaction with anybody outside of basketball operations, and I feel like the precaution we have put in place here, obviously, for our safety first, and ultimately doing the right thing to help us get back on the court soon.
Thanks so much, buddy. Good luck this year.
Hey, Jim, go ahead. Jim Sumner.
Hey, Wendell, Jim Sumner. Just curious you're trying to get some more specifics about this. What subjects do you want to see addressed by this NABC Council? How do you see it playing out? What's the end game? Will there be a report? Will it be more informal suggestions? Just, kind of get into the weeds a little bit and tell us what you want to see happen.
I mean, obviously, this is just the start of something special. We're kind of like the experiment group of guys to hopefully this become a larger thing, and hopefully kind of map it out to be kind of like the NBA Players Union. We kind of just want to have an input in everything that goes in with the college basketball, whether it's how we play our games, or how many games we play, the money that goes into it, what happens to the players, what happens to everything. We just want the players to get treated fairly so they don't feel like lose kind of interest in their sport early. That way, you see guys going to the G League and things like that. We just want to have an opportunity to keep guys in college because college is obviously a one-in-a-lifetime experience, and we want to make it that way for all athletes.
We'll go to Brendan Marks with The Athletic.
Hey, Wendell. I hope you and your family are doing well. I sort of wanted to follow up on Jim's question. What are the things that are most important to you to address? I know that, COVID obviously is something there, name, image, and likeness, get number of games. There's so many different issues to discuss, but what are the ones that you personally, I guess, are most invested in or most want to be a representative for?
I'll probably say for myself right now, I'm really just focused on playing. It's been obviously 5-6 months since we last played a game. We got shut down as we were obviously getting ready to leave for our game, our first ACC game. And as a freshman, that kind of hurts. That kind of stings a little bit to kind of get your first year taken away from you when we had a chance to do something really special, I felt. So first and foremost, that's what I'm more focused on is playing. The money will come later. And obviously, if I'm good enough, I'll have the opportunity to go make my own money someday. So right now, I'm just focused on playing basketball.
Thank you.
Vashti, go ahead.
Hi, Wendell. Vashti Hurt with Carolina Blitz. Congratulations. Sort of see evolution of leadership from you starting as they spoke about earlier with the march. You mentioned being a leader now on the team. Can you talk about your leadership role now? And then what have you seen these freshmen that are coming in?
The 6 group of freshmen we have are, in my eyes, second to none. We have versatility, 1 through all 6 of them. And Patrick, even though he's not a freshman, he's considered a new guy here. And he's obviously a big piece of what we're hoping to do here, too. So those 7 guys have been coming around really well. They've been getting better every day. They come here to work, and ultimately they all make our team better. And from a leadership standpoint, like you said, I mean, even though I'm only a sophomore here, I've been here for a year. I know how the system works. I know like the things we do behind the scenes. So just hoping all those guys get comfortable, especially in an uncomfortable time like this.
I'll go to Brian.
This is Brian from Duke Blog. What were specific things you wanted to work on this offseason in preparation for this year?
I would probably say the biggest thing for me wasn't so much like my physical abilities or my ball handling, my shooting, my dribbling. I think for me it was more of a mindset thing. Just getting into my own headspace where I can ultimately play the game how I want to play at my speed, at my pace. Just developing a confidence that I felt that I was missing last season, ultimately to make me a better player in the long run.
Thank you.
We'll go to Jason, and then Fred, and then Evan.
So, Wendell, Jason Evans, Duke Basketball Report. A couple questions for you, somewhat related to COVID and trying to figure out how to play a college basketball season. There's been a lot of talk lately about the notion of perhaps putting college basketball teams into a bubble, like for conferences and the NCAA tournament. Is that something that you've thought about at all? Have you spoken to any, fellow players about it? What do you all think about that as a possibility? Even if it would maybe be isolated from everyone except for your team for several months.
Right. I kind of feel like here it's kind of what we're doing now. Obviously, we have the money to do that. Some schools may not be as fortunate. I can't speak for those schools again. But obviously, I think the idea of a bubble would be a really good idea just to isolate all the teams who want to play against each other in that bubble and keep things safe, keep away from the public, just kind of keep us in our own area where we're able to play the game the right way and safely.
Jason, did you have a follow-up to that?
Oh, sorry. My internet was really bad there. I could barely hear the answer. So the thought was related to Wendell. Have you talked at all to either teammates or other players about the issues that you specifically want to bring up? Have you been in communication with anybody since sort of this was announced for you? Because I'd love to know what the entire basketball community is sort of saying to you about the things that you should talk about as you represent all of them.
Yeah, definitely. I've been in contact with a lot of my friends. I have like around the country in college basketball, and more specifically, I've been in contact a lot with our team. And obviously, the first thing everybody wants to say is money, money, money. Everybody wants to get paid from this, and that's a good thing. But also, the main focus is again playing college basketball and how it's going to be played, and if it's going to be played safely, where we can make it through a whole. I mean, it might not be a whole season, but however long the season's going to be, we want to make it the whole season with no stoppage. So we don't want to have to start playing and stop, take a break, and maybe pick it back up or things like that. So really, everybody's main focus is just getting on the court. I know everybody's hungry to play. They've been waiting almost a half a year to play, so I know they're itching to get out on the court, and that's the main thing that we're focusing on right now.
Freddie, go ahead.
Wendell, Freddie Hodges with Duke Report. Thank you for taking the opportunity to talk with us. A couple questions. How has practice and training this summer been different than, like, say, previous seasons? And also, what advice have you or will you be given to the freshmen for the upcoming season?
For one, I'd probably say for one, it was a lot different, mainly because of the time we got here. We got here almost a month later than we normally do, so we lost a month in preparation training. But as soon as we got here, it was kind of like wheels going. As soon as we got tested, everybody came back negative. We started training and testing right away. We normally start with our biomechanical testing and things like that, just so they kind of know how we can move and how they can make us better, whether jumping, training, speed, anything like that. And the freshmen have been really good about it. Another thing that's been different is all our workouts have been individual for right now. We haven't had any contact with each other, any live action yet. It's kind of just been everything individual, and everybody working on themselves right now. So everybody's getting better at things they think that they need to improve on, and the coaches are doing a great job in helping us do that. Now, like I said, the freshmen picking up everything really fast and really well. This is a good group of guys, and they're going to make us a lot better this year.
Thank you.
All right, Evan, go ahead.
Evan Colin from the Chronicle, and so you mentioned how one of the big things with this coalition is just playing college basketball. So I have a couple questions. One, how connected is this coalition toward what everyone in the college basketball community saw happen with college football, and that we want to play stuff right as the fall seasons were getting canceled? And also, was there going to be certainly a Duke representative, and you were just chosen as that Duke representative, or were you sought out individually?
So really how this came about, like I said, a coach came to me with the opportunity. He's on a kind of like a board or committee, as you can say, of the same 11 other coaches that the players represent from that school. So all of them came together and wanted to do something, just turn into the Player Development Coalition. And what was the last part of your question? I missed that.
Outside of that was just how connected was this coalition toward what everyone in the college basketball community saw with college football and all that. We want to play stuff right as the seasons were getting canceled, because one of the things you mentioned was wanting to play college basketball.
So really, we want to be as connected as we can be. So obviously this is a first-time thing happening, so we don't actually know how much power we have yet. We haven't had the chance to enforce any change or give our opinions yet. So obviously when we do that and we really see how much power we have on the change, then we can kind of make decisions from there. But again, we want to be as close tied into college basketball as we can, because we're the ones playing it. So we want to kind of play not on our terms, but just fair terms, where everybody's treated equally and everybody could just play the game that they love to play.
All right, Brendan, we'll go back to you.
Yeah, Wendell, I know you mentioned the freshmen, and obviously there's a lot of them, and breaking down every little bit about every one of them would be a lot. But I was just wondering, can you give us a quick scouting report on those guys? What has maybe stood out about each of them to you so far? What things have impressed you the most just through the first couple of practices and things?
Right. I'll probably say just the thing that impressed me the most is their ability to work. again, I'll probably say on the court, I've had very small interactions with them because they're kind of in a different group than I am, since they're learning a lot of this stuff. But the very little that I've seen on the court, they're going to be great this year. They work very hard. They always want to get better, and they're always in the gym. I mean, they ask me every day, is there a way that we can go back to the gym after hours and get extra work in? So that just tells me that they're dedicated to the work and they want to learn and get better.
Ethan, go ahead.
Hey, Wendell. Ethan Joyce with the Winston-Salem Journal. You wanted to look back at the protests you organized, and there were a lot of college athletes that kind of did the same thing around the nation. You even saw some guys starting to facilitate change. You know, state flag gets changed, and what was that like for you to kind of see all that happening at once, just showing the power of the platform?
I'll probably say that means a lot to me. Just to know that my supporters and my fan base are actually behind me for the person that I am, and not just my basketball talents. And that means a lot to me when I can go out in the community and have such a huge gathering and a support system behind me that believes the same things I believe in. And ultimately, that makes me a lot more confident in the change and the power that I can have in enforcing a positive change in our communities.
Has it changed the way that you think about social media as far as, you know, maybe
Brian, Freddie, did you guys have additional questions? Either.
Oh, was Ethan done? I wasn't sure.
Ethan, are you all set?
I wasn't, but you can go ahead. It's fine.
I was going to say for you, Wendell, and the team, how are you dealing with the uncertainty of whether there will be a season or not? Like, has that entered into the thought process for you guys or no?
We're really just staying ready. Whether we have a season or not, we're going to be ready to play. And that's kind of one thing that we focused on is with everything that's happened, there's a lot of uncertainty. Things change every day. So we just want to be ready for when our time comes. We're just going to hit the ground running so we don't have to waste any of our time getting ready.
Thank you.
Jim Sumner, go ahead.
Hey, Wendell, I want to follow up on sort of establishing priorities. I know you're one of 11 players on this committee. I assume you know most, if not all, of these guys through AAU ball. There are some other ACC players. Is this group of 11, are you guys communicating already through phone calls or text messaging? Are you trying to prioritize what your goals are going to be before the first meeting?
Yes, we already had our first meeting as a whole group, like late last week, and we had another meeting just the players a couple of days ago, just kind of going about how we want to attack this. And I'm not going to state anything that we said in our messages. Obviously, we want to keep that private for right now, but there's some really good stuff in those messages, and we constantly communicate every day on how we can get positive change for not only ourselves, but all the athletes across the country.
Jason, go ahead. Do you have another question?
Yeah, Wendell, getting back to, what's been going on in practice, I guess you guys have been practicing for a couple of weeks now. Can you just tell me, who's surprised you so far? Who's, either among the freshmen or Patrick, the transfer, or among the returning guys? Is there anybody that you go, wow, I didn't know that guy, could do this or that, or, who's impressing the most right now from what you've seen?
Yeah, that's a great question. As I said before, we haven't really had any live action stuff yet, so I can't really speak on what guys doing against each other in practice, things like that. But just the workouts I've seen, I've been amazed at the way that every guy on this team can shoot the ball. Even our bigs can stretch the floor, hit the three, and they've been very consistent making those shots. So yeah, I'll probably say that's the thing that I'm most impressed about. about our team so far.
Hey, Brian, go ahead. You had a question?
Yeah, Wendell, going back to a couple of the other questions, I feel like your class coming in, the freshman class specifically, had a lot to deal with, probably that no other freshman class had to deal with in terms of the pandemic, having your season cut short, and then the social unrest, if things boiling over. How has that affected you specifically?
Yeah, again, I kind of touched on this a little bit before, but as a freshman, that kind of hurts. Like, especially in the position we were in. Obviously, we had came off that losing 3 out of 4 span. And I kind of felt like those last 2 games, we were kind of hitting our stride going into conference play. And we were kind of turning the corner, really becoming that like really great team going into the tournament. And I felt like we had a chance to do something really special with that unit. And not even so much about the basketball aspect, but just all those guys in general. We had just became really close as a team. And I just felt so bad for Javin and Jack and J-Rob and all those guys. Just their last opportunity at it, they really didn't get a chance to go out how they wanted to. So I'll probably say that's where it hit home more for me at.
Thank you.
Brian McLaughlin, go ahead.
Hey, Wendell. Brian McLaughlin with Devils Illustrated. You mentioned earlier about playing with more confidence this coming season and being able to play at your pace. What exactly does that look like for you, playing at your pace, and what does that mean for you going forward with your game?
I'm just really keeping everything under control. I feel like a lot of times last year I kind of got sped up and kind of things were going too fast in my mind. So really just having the chance to look at the game, and it kind of slows it down for me, so I can see everything that's going on, and I kind of ultimately make the right plays.
Freddie, did you have a question, or you? Go ahead.
Wendell, other than the UNC wins, reflecting back on last season, what would you say were 1 or 2 highlights that you will remember most from last season?
I would say we have a good bit of highlights from the last season. Obviously, as freshmen, you're going to have your ups and downs, and that comes with every year. Freshman through senior, everybody has those really high moments and those really low moments. But really, the thing is just to stay medium with it. And I'll probably say another big moment for us. I'll probably say the Michigan State game was a huge moment for us. Just playing like a high caliber team like that, and the way we came in to their place, game on the road in a hostile environment like that, we just stayed poised as a team and stayed together. And I feel like games like that make us really closer, and ultimately put us in a position where we were at the end of the season to really make a run at the tournament.
All right, thank you.
Ethan, did you have a follow-up?
No, I'm good.
All right. Mark.
Apologize if you touched on this earlier. My kids were distracting me a bit, but Armando over at UNC is obviously on the same committee. What, if any, relationship do you have with him? He's kind of an outspoken guy on social media on the hot button issues. Have you talked with him specifically?
I mean, I kind of knew him before, just through AAU stuff. We were really good friends throughout the high school circuits, things like that. So we talked a good bit about just all the issues that we want to cover and how we're going to go about this. So yeah, he's a great guy to have on our side. And as you say, he's really outspoken. So he's definitely going to say what's on his mind. And he's definitely one for positive change.
All right, we'll go Brendan and then Evan and Brian Horse.
Wendell, you had mentioned that last year, at times, the confidence was something that you were trying to work through. I'm just wondering, had you ever had your confidence or your, I guess, faith in yourself, your abilities tested like that before? And I know the injury probably factored into that too, but how did you sort of work through that whole process and maybe come out the better for it? Did you hear me?
Obviously, before coming here, you're always going to be the best player on your team. I mean, so for me, that's where a lot of my confidence had came from before. And as you said, it's been quite a while since I've been tested like that. I've had very few injuries in my life, and I definitely not one that's kept me out for a month and a half span. I probably say the only other injury like that I've had was when I was a bit younger. So it really didn't affect me as much as it did now. So just really things that kept me going is just my teammates. Just saying that they're always there for me. They're holding down everything while I'm gone, and nothing's going to change when I get back. So just having my teammates behind me at all times played a huge role in me being able to come back. I just feel like that I never missed a beat, really.
Gotcha. Thank you.
All right, Evan, go ahead.
So typically, you guys know your non-conference schedule by some point in July. Obviously, this year, you guys don't know that yet. It's being, that kind of release is being delayed. So what kind of challenges is that posed for you and your teammates? Just not knowing those, especially those high caliber opponents.
For us, it's just all the uncertainty. Obviously, we want to know when we're going to start playing, when's our first game going to be. For us, obviously that's a little frustrating, but at the same time, we just have to, again, just stay ready so we don't have to waste our time getting ready. And just, I really just keep progressing every day. And so the more we're ready, the easier it kind of is on us.
All right, Brian, go ahead.
So Wendell, I know it's early and you guys haven't been there very long, but have the coaches talked to you at all about your role on the team? If you're going to be more of a ball handler, a slasher, or what, how you're going to fit into the scheme of the team this coming season?
Right now we really haven't had a chance to discuss anything team-wise. So everything right now has been more focused on us as individual players, just working on our individual talents, just shaping our all-around games. I could say this season, I know Coach wants to get up and down a lot more. He wants to be a really fast-paced team, and we have the personnel to do that. 1 through 14, we can all play at a fast pace, and multiple of our guys can play multiple positions. So that's another good thing for us. So just being able to be versatile all around and give us the opportunity to play many different speeds.
Thank you.
Tom Shanahan, go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me okay? Yeah, okay, sorry. Hey, Wendell, I wondered if you could talk about how we're at a special time in history with Black Lives Matter. And, a few years ago, you couldn't have spoken up like you did and other athletes. And I wonder if older African Americans, maybe your parents, have talked to you about what a special time this is. And maybe also that it translates to the board you're going to be on, that maybe you guys can get something done. It's not just a show board.
Right. I'll probably say for years we've been trying to get something done. This isn't the first time people have started to speak out against change needs to happen. And this isn't the first time people have said that. And now since we're in a pandemic and people can't go anywhere, it gives them no choice but to listen now. So there's really no different opportunity except now. This is really the best time that we have to all use our platforms and speak up for what we believe in. And again, we want to change now, but again, it's going to be a process. And we're not going to stop until a change has occurred.
Evan, go ahead.
I know Coach K isn't big on comparisons, but just, with the kind of athletic point forward that you are, I've seen some comparisons to Justice Winslow. I was just wondering what kind of, what your thoughts are on that kind of comparison.
That's a great comparison. Anytime you can get compared to one of the very good players who have been through this program and now has the opportunity to make millions of dollars in the NBA, that's a great comparison, no matter who it is. And obviously, he's a really good player. He's one of my favorite players watching growing up here. And just the things he can do makes him really special.
All right. Anything else for Wendell? Brian, you have one more? Brian Horse?
Yes, Wendell, with what you did over in Concord and what Coach Smith was doing, did you guys collaborate at all on what you guys were doing in terms of protesting?
No, not at the time. Kind of everything we did was based on our community. So we wanted to get out in our own communities to try to enforce change first before things start happening globally and nationally. I mean, that's the way everything starts. It's smaller and it gradually builds up. But since we've been back, we've kind of been in a collaboration and trying to get something going on here at Duke. We've been collaborating. It's mainly us two and one of the women's basketball players have all been in collaboration about what we can do to make some kind of something happen on campus.
Thank you.
All right, Wendell, really appreciate you taking the time this afternoon. Best of luck as we go forward, and we'll